Gold FM is #1 here in Sigatoka.
Gold FM is our favorite radio station here in Lautoka.
Gold FM is #1 in Nel.
I love listening to Gold FM in Ba.
We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits here in Suva.
Hear about Coca-Cola, you immediately think of gold. I'm Josephine Sabi and I love hearing Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
In this bulletin, leadership change in the National Federation Party. Fishermen recall last 24-hour ordeal at sea. A national dengue cleanup campaign comes to an end. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. The National Federation Party has unanimously elected Professor Biman Prasad as its new leader at its annual general meeting held in Nandi today. Another milestone appointment is that of Tupon Ranindalo as NFP's new president, becoming the first Itauke to take on such a position within the party. As Christopher Chand reports, the NFP is now the second political party to name its leader to take the party to elections in September.
Following the party's elections, the new leaders emerged. As speculated earlier this week, Biman Prasad has now been confirmed as the new man to lead the NFP, with Raman Pratap Singh stepping aside after 9 years.
It is going to be a huge transition for me, but I'm not new to politics. I did contest an election in 1999, so I have a bit of a taste of politics 14 years ago.
But as the party celebrates a new beginning, they were given a timely message.
For the National Federation Party, Fiji's oldest political party, it is at a critical juncture. Will it continue its decline in the shadow of Mr. Mahendra Chaudhry and the Fiji Labour Party, or will it be able to remake and reposition itself in the emerging political landscape of the months ahead?
We are very, very confident, given the support that we had in 1999, 2001 and 2006, that we are definitely going to be in Parliament. And judging from the response that we've had over the last several months, the National Federation Party is back in business.
A manifesto is expected to be launched in May or June, but Prasad highlighted some of the policies they will be fighting for in the elections, like reducing VAT, tackling poverty, reviewing the structure of FNPF and creating jobs.
This government, when it came into power, they promised that they were going to reduce the VAT from 12.5% to 10%. Instead, they increased it to 15%. And what we see today in this country is the weight of inflation, the weight of rising cost of living, literally drowning thousands of poor families in this country.
Tupon Ranindalo has been appointed as the president of the party. Parmod Chand is the new vice president. Dalip Kumar has been appointed treasurer, and Kamal Iyer is the party's general secretary. The National Federation Party and its new leader face an enormous challenge of winning a seat in Fiji's new parliament, something the party has not been able to achieve since general elections in 1999. And although the appointments today symbolize a new NFP, we will have to wait and see who voters choose come general elections on September 17th. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
The European Union has welcomed the announcement of Fiji's elections date, appointment of an election supervisor, and the release of the electoral decree. The High Representative of the EU for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Catherine Ashton, says these are important milestones in Fiji's transition to democracy. She says she is looking forward to an electoral process that ensures equal opportunities to all candidates and political parties with free and balanced media coverage. Ashton says a credible, transparent and inclusive process will be important in assuring the people of Fiji and international partners of the legitimacy of the outcome of the elections. The general elections will be held on September 17th. The government is keen to allow international observers for the September 17th general elections. Attorney General and Minister responsible for the elections, Aisaid Qayyum, confirmed the government has been having talks with many countries and international groups.
We want them to be here in different capacities much prior to the polling day itself. So as we've seen in other models, you may have some observers who are very good at assessing how well you have carried out voter education. You may have observers who can assess how well you have registered everybody that should be registered. You may have observers that may be able to look at the internal mechanisms within the elections office as to how they've recruited people, has it been all transparent, are people appointed on merit, etc. So we hope to have a whole host of observers coming in at different points in time. We of course want observers after the elections, because reconciliations need to be carried out.
Said Qayyum says Australia has been approached to lead the group of international observers and a decision is expected in the coming week. Police are questioning a diver in relation to the death of a 24-year-old man at the Suva Handicraft Centre overnight. Police had earlier received a call about a fight between two men outside the centre at 11 p.m. yesterday. The victim was found lying unconscious on the ground and he was taken to the CWM hospital where he died at 5 a.m. today. The diver of the Vui level housing was taken in for questioning this morning. An investigation is continuing. 6 fishermen who were reported missing somewhere between Kandavu and Benga Islands yesterday have been found. The men were rescued near Benga about 9 a.m. this morning. Mikalonga caught up with them when they arrived back in Suva a few hours later.
The men arrived in the capital in this fiberglass boat at around midday. They were accorded a special welcome by family members who had eagerly waited for their arrival.
Our fiberglass boat took in water and sank just when we passed Solo in Kandavu. We tried everything to keep the boat afloat, even to the extent of throwing our cats overboard.
According to the men, they encountered a sudden change in weather, which brought with it huge waves and strong winds. They lost all their catch.
The men were swimming for 12 long hours in the waters between Kandavu and Benga before they were rescued this morning.
I left here at 10 last night after the Navy told us they couldn't find them. My children and I cried whole of last night. Dad worried about my husband.
I knew that our family back at home were thinking and worrying about us. This made us more determined to reach Benga Island, but luckily the rescue boat arrived at the time.
The men fish for a living. Last night's ordeal have made them think seriously of things they would otherwise take for granted.
I didn't think of anything else when I was swimming. I had to keep trying to come to shore alive.
I thought of my family and I wanted to come out alive. I am thankful that we are alive. Our prayers have been answered.
I was overwhelmed with tears and I am very happy to see they are all alive.
I'm so happy they are all alive. We thank Lord for their lives.
Taiwane Matia went through a similar experience a few years back. He had only one advice for the others during last night's ordeal.
When our boat sank, I told the boys that we must swim close to each other at all times until we find land.
I was optimistic of the boys making it back. I had a lot of confidence in Taione, who had already experienced a similar incident a few years back.
This latest incident is a lesson to us all. We must keep a close tab on the weather if you are planning to go out to sea. Mikalonga, FBC News.
A nationwide dengue campaign endorsed by Cabinet has been closed in Nasinu today. The activity was carried out by the Fiji Corrections Service, Health Ministry and various non-government organizations. Chanel Sivan reports.
Over 4,000 people participated in the campaign, collecting over 150 tons of rubbish nationwide over the past 3 weeks. Permanent Secretary for Public Service Commission Pramesh Chand said the cleanup campaign does not stop today.
That's a huge exercise because everybody gave their time out voluntarily, sacrificing their Saturdays over the last 4 Saturdays. These cleanups obviously have not eliminated all the mosquitoes. There are a number of reasons, including the wet weather, where the mosquitoes will keep coming back.
There are now 18,969 clinically confirmed cases of dengue 3.
Today, of course, is the final leg of the cleanup, but this should not be the end. We must continue this initiative and make it part of our everyday living.
The Health Ministry believes the number of mosquitoes through the campaigns are going down.
Areas that we had targeted for the cleanup campaigns, which were where the cases were from, and we are pleased that the indices are coming down here. But it doesn't end there. We know that the rainy season is still around, and if people are not careful about looking after the receptacles that are there, the ties and so forth, we might still be able to breed more if we don't look after it. But nevertheless, we are satisfied with the outcome of the cleanup campaigns as the indices are coming down. Yeah.
The Health Ministry estimates the outbreak will peak at 25,000, something last seen in the 1975 outbreak. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Coming up after the break, FBC signs agreement with Turkish TV and radio.
Today FM is #1 here in Singatoka.
We love Today FM in Lambasa. It rocks!
My favorite station in Nandi is Today FM.
Listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks in Subah.
Lotoka City love Today's kid music.
I love Today FM because they play all my songs.
We love Today FM at Vuniva Lambasa. Yeah, it rocks!
I love Today FM because it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The Electoral Decree 2014, which will return Fiji to democracy after 8 years, has the finer details of how the elections will be conducted. Chanel Sivan takes a look at the decree.
The elections decree came into effect yesterday. Under Section 36 of the decree, it states candidates' list must be published in all newspapers, broadcast on radio, and must provide a copy of the national candidates list to all registered political parties and candidates. One of the highlights of the decree is the rules concerning the polling venues.
We talk about polling venues and when we talk about polling stations. So within a polling venue, you can have many polling stations. So for example, if you use Marist Brothers High School, if it is a polling venue, within Marist you can have many polling stations. Because there is no longer, of course, ethnic voting. So you could be categorized in the alphabetical order.
The time for the poll is from 7:30 a.m. until all the voters queued till 6 p.m. have voted. Now, under the decree, if you have lost your voting card, there are a number of methods to identify a voter. Of course, one is through thumbprints and the other one is through photo identification. Under Section 63, restrictions have been made to political parties as to where they should set up their sheds. In previous years, political parties used to have sheds near voting centers. This year, it will be different.
No campaign, no sheds, no election material must be anywhere from the polling venue, of the boundary of the polling venue, 300 meters away. It should be all 300 meters away, so that you're not unduly influencing people. You can't have, if you're walking in the doors there to vote and somebody comes, hey, vote for this party. Can't do that. Everybody must be 300 meters away.
The police will also be briefed on this. There will be a 48-hour blackout period. All campaigning must stop 48 hours prior to the poll date. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Fiji National Provident Fund staff will be visiting flood-affected areas in the Central Division from Monday. They will be assisting members affected by the recent floods under its Natural Disaster Withdrawal Scheme. FNPF Chief Executive Isake Taito says the assistance is only offered to members who reside in DISMAC-declared flood areas. Taito adds members need to have enough eligibility to be able to qualify for withdrawal. A maximum of $1,000 is allowed per affected household. The Fiji Broadcasting Corporation has signed an MOU with Turkey Radio and Television Broadcasting. The MOU was signed on behalf of FBC by Fiji's ambassador to the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, Ambassador Robin Naya, recently. Naya says the signing will augur well for Fiji in terms of communication.
It means a significant amount for us because this is the most important area that we should be building our relationship in and through, because communication is such an important part of if there's a good communication, we will be much better friends and we'll be able to help each other, assist each other.
The MOU enables FBC and TRT to exchange material and training for radio and TV. FBC says it is looking forward to moving ahead in the spirit of the agreement in the near future. This MOU comes on the back of others that FBC signed with Korean broadcasting giants KBS and EBS. Fijian singer Sumit Tapu recently performed for Bollywood superstar Amitabh Bachchan during the launch of his album Destiny in India. The album features renowned singers like Pankaj Udas, Anup Jalota and Talat Aziz. At the launch, Amitabh praised Tapu for his talent. Sumit grew up in Fiji and began performing on stage at the age of 8. Sumit has performed over 450 concerts in India and internationally in countries including USA, UK, Canada, South Africa, Mauritius, Australia, New Zealand and here at home. Coming up in sports news, Fijian Rugby showcased an opening pool match in Hong Kong. And still in Hong Kong, Fijian Maka Satavu cherishes his first outing for the US Eagles.
Mirchi FM is number 1 in Singapore.
और किसके सुनिए यार हमारा एक सच्चा साथी है मिर्ची एफएम लंबा सा
I love Mirchi FM, it's so hot.
देखे में लाल लाल, खाए में हाय हाय. Tangi taupa में Mirchi FM is hot.
Here at Rugby Town, Singapore, love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM is number 1 in Suva. It's hot.
हम वहीं लंबा सा में रहता है तो क्या बताएंगे मिर्ची एफएम सुनता है
Mirchi FM, बहुत जुलूम जुलूम.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Meanwhile, support for the Fiji Sevens team in Hong Kong is tremendous. The cheering by the Fiji fans echoed through Happy Valley following a superb performance on day 1 this morning. Although the Welsh scored first, becoming the eventual winners was the objective.
Well, a slow start in as we gave a try away at the start when we just played a little bit passively. After that, 42 points against Wales is a significant scoreline, but let's not get carried away, it's one game. We've had a very long day and it's really dragged on, you know, waiting to play at 9:30 at night. We've now got a really quick turnaround, we won't be in bed till midnight.
The two new inclusions in the side, Choeli Lutumailangi and Samu Sangiwa, made their presence felt during the encounter.
Jolly came on, scored first touch, Samu came on and added good physicality. You know, Jas and Leo that were with us last week are excellent players. So, you know, we're just getting a bigger and bigger squad of players that are good enough to play at this level together.
Fiji's final pool game is against Kenya at 11:16 p.m. USA winger Maka Satavu cherished his first outing in Hong Kong last night, sugar-coated by the Eagles' 26-12 upset win over Samoa. The utility player is one of 2 Fijian players in the USA squad alongside Andrew Ndurtalo. Satavu hopes this is the start of a good run for the Stars and Stripes.
USA, you know, the thing is we always had trouble starting off really well, but, you know, we started off with a bang, and we hope to continue to do that throughout the rest of the tournament.
Unfortunately for USA, Day 2 in Hong Kong did not start off as well as yesterday. The Americans were upset by Scotland 15-10 earlier today. Their final pool game will be against New Zealand tonight. The Fiji Rugby Union is back on level terms with the IRB after a meeting in Hong Kong. FRU board members attended the high-level meeting yesterday to show the progress made since the IRB suspended funds in January. The funds were to have been directed towards the high-performance unit.
Today we are back to the partnering again going forward, and we've also discussed some of the plans that we have, the vision that we have for Fiji Rugby, and we were thankful of the fact that they've always been there supporting Fiji Rugby, and we hope that now with the re-engagement we should be able to achieve much more for Fiji Rugby.
A sign of better things to come for Fiji Rugby, no doubt. Rain was experienced over the eastern parts of the country. Suva received 57 millimeters of rain in the last 24 hours till 9 a.m. today. A weakening trough of low pressure remains slow-moving over Vanuatu and extends over Fiji and Tonga. Another trough of low pressure affects Tuvalu, Niue and southern Cooks. Temperatures were all in the 30s today, with Lambasa and surprisingly Suva recording the highest temperature of 32 degrees. More cloudy periods and showers are expected in all centres tomorrow, except a bust of fine weather in the morning for Nandi, Lautoka, Ba and Lambasa. Some showers over Lau and the Lomaiviti group and the eastern interior parts of the larger islands. Elsewhere, isolated afternoon or evening showers with thunderstorms. Here are the main points again. The National Federation Party has elected Professor Biman Prasad as its new leader and lawyer Tupon Ranindalo as the new party president. The European Union has welcomed the announcement of Fiji's elections date, appointment of an election supervisor, and the release of the electoral decree. And 6 men reported missing at sea are glad to be alive after swimming more than 12 hours to safety. On to our poll question now. We're asking, do you think Pio Tuwai and Setafano the Cow have revitalized the Fiji Sevens team? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's all from us tonight. I'll be back again tomorrow. Until then, good evening.
Ito singa to kung tali ta na barong na Radio Fijian na station yang mutua.
Ako na koro ko na tali ta. Mandaw tali ta gini na barong Radio Fijian.
Kita ngoi su untuk tali ta na barong na Radio Fijian na station yang mutua.
Kito tali ta na Radio Fijian. Na Radio Fijian endo tali ta kita nga Singotoka. Station di Matno Pinatia na Radio Fijian. Pokoknya bayan.
Na Radio Fijian nandu Lomaiviti na bonga ni BNN.